Hey folks, the second episode of Season 2 of Peacemaker dropped, and it's crystal clear. Rick Flag Sr. has one mission: take down Peacemaker. This chapter dives into the character's dilemmas and pain, but it also gives us some badass Eagly action, no doubt. A lot went down here, and I've pulled every important detail and Easter egg so you're fully up to speed on Peacemaker and the DCU. Ready for a full spoiler breakdown?
The app opens with a scene from 8 months earlier. Rick Flag Sr. gets named interim head of Argus and swears in at the White House. The news network that shows up, KWUE, pops up again.
Same one we saw in Season 1 when Adebayo exposed Amanda Waller. Right away, Flag Sr. shows he's different from Waller. He uses the agency for personal reasons, immediately asking for the dossier on his son's death. This revenge arc is going to have consequences for Rick Flag. I think he'll stick around in the DCU, but his actions in Peacemaker are going to ripple out, especially with all the talk about metahuman control on Earth. Flag was even at that Superman meeting with Lex Luthor about Planet Watch, remember? So for now, Rick Flag Sr. is the villain of this Peacemaker season. But I bet it unfolds into something bigger in the universe. When he opens the file on Rick Flag Jr.'s death, the episode cuts to flashbacks from the Suicide Squad. Important note, that doesn't canonize the whole movie. James Gunn said only the scenes shown are canon. So just because we see that flashback, it doesn't automatically make Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn fully canon across the DCU. Only the footage we actually see counts. Still, the fight between Rick Flag and Peacemaker in that movie carries huge weight. It shows rivalry, friendship, betrayal, all crafted by James Gunn. It's a standout fight, one of the film's best moments. After reading the report, Flag Sr. orders continuous surveillance on Peacemaker. It's obvious he's acting out of personal interest, straight up vengeance. The fight hints in the trailers could land in episodes 3 or 4, and this scene helps explain why he's so obsessed with hunting our guy. It humanizes the villain, gives him feelings so the revenge isn't just talk.
But quick thought about that flashback. Is there more to it? Why show it now? There's a theory online saying Hardcore's current boyfriend might actually be Rick Flag Jr. from that other Earth. Maybe Gunn showed the flashback both to justify the father's hatred and to remind us there was a rivalry between young Flag and Peacemaker. If that's true, man, that's gonna be interesting.
About the antagonist, this episode raises Rick Flag Sr.'s threat level a bit. We get his motivations, but I'm not sold on him yet of the truly intimidating force. He sends a squad to invade Peacemaker's place when it's just Eagly there, and they get wrecked. The unit comes off as kind of clumsy, which undercuts the tension Flag should bring. Still, I expect him to grow over the season and eventually face Peacemaker. And speaking of highlights, Eagly straight up stole the show here. We already had great Eagly moments last season, and this episode shows Eagly being totally badass, not hesitating to take down Argus agents. Back to our lead, Chris freaks out after killing his other self. He hides the body and calls Vigilante for help. One thing the episode nails is how killing an alternate version of himself hits him differently. Chris has taken life before, he's used to violence, but killing himself, that's a whole other level. The episode gets pretty gory in spots, and you can see how shaken he is. Even though it's an alternate version, it's still him, like looking in the mirror. Symbolically, it's the moment Chris killed Peacemaker. This season's gonna dig into Christmas' human side more than the heroic Peacemaker persona. That moment really emphasizes that.
Adebayo's got relationship struggles. She argues with her ex, and my read is they're probably not getting back together. There's a fight over plans and moving, and I feel like Adebayo will end up moving on and doing her own thing. Harcourt gets approached in a store by a woman who thinks she's a domestic abuse victim. It's a misunderstanding, awkward and embarrassing, and Harcourt reacts badly. Then she spots a help wanted sign just when she needs cash, and of course, she somehow sabotages her own shot at the job. The sequence sells how everything's going wrong for her and how she's hitting a low point. We also meet a new Argus agent, Flurry, sent by Sasha Bordeaux to back up Economos. Flurry's basically comic relief, says awful things at work, and leads into uncomfortable jokes. At first it lands, but the same bit runs out quick. The whole bird blindness gag was flat, even for Peacemaker humor. I didn't get why they kept that joke. Adebayo drops by Chris's place to talk about the quantum portal and what she learned from Economos about Argus. Chris is still messed up. can't process it. Then Adrian shows up to clean up the mess from last night and gets pissed he wasn't invited to the party. Classic. Chris fires up the quantum portal, which flags Argus. Argus decides to move at night when Chris and the crew will be at Harcourt. It can almost nails Chris and the gang, so Flurry keeps that detail under wraps. Meanwhile, Peacemaker and Vigilante try to jump the other Chris's body. That scene's got a dark comedy vibe, very The Boys.
This season's Chris is different, calmer, not so quick to snap at Vigilante. Some might miss his sharp, gross-out humor from season 1, but this shift lets John Cena show deeper dramatic range. He's doing a great job conveying pain and existential confusion. I'm really into it. Later, Chris scrolls through the other Chris's phone and finds romantic photos at Harcourt. That hits him hard. Seeing your alternate self dating the person you love? Brutal. I do think that reveal would have landed harder if they hadn't already told us in episode 1 that Harcourt was his ex, but it still sells to hurt. Argus sent another team to raid Peacemaker's place while Chris is with his friends. At the group hangout, Harcourt hides what happened. Most friends brush it off, and only Peacemaker grasps the gravity. He tries to reach Harcourt, show he cares, but she shuts him down. That scene of the two staring out over the city really made him feel like something more than friends, but she won't let him in. Their connection is clear, but her feelings are ambiguous. The party itself was a high point, tons of jokes that landed for me. The bit where Vigilante chucks beer at Economos had me laughing, and there's even a Psycho reference, foreshadowing their visit to Vigilante's mom later in season. The soundtrack, the vibe, the group chemistry, it all sells how, despite messy lives, these people are family when they're together. Big props to that whole sequence.
Back to Eagly. Yeah, Eagly stole every scene they were in. That sets up the arrival of Rhett Sing Wild, played by Michael Rooker, who looks like he'll be a villain for Eagly to deal with. After all that, Chris stumbles home drunk and frustrated after failing again with Harcourt. He has a quiet moment with Eagly. Using the dead Peacemaker's phone, Chris tries to message Harcourt on the other Earth. The message fails, so he decides to go in person. Then, right at the end, the message finally gets a reply, and the episode cuts. Overall, it's a more middle-of-the-road episode. They did what we expected, but still gave us at least 2 killer sequences, Eagly shredding the Arcus officers and the whole party setup. At the Bayou, Antiquanimos got much screen time, and Peacemaker's inner struggle is heating up, so I'd say it was successful even if I still prefer episode 1. I'm curious to see what Flag Sr. does next within Argus, and how Peacemaker handles being on another Earth. He might have everything there, but he's got ties here, and that conflict should be fascinating. So what about you? You liking season 2 of Peacemaker so far? Has it exceeded your expectations? Drop your theories for the next episodes in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any DCU updates or Easter eggs from each Peacemaker episode. Thanks for watching, see you next time.